What is up, word wizards? We are back with another episode of Am I Right? And as you can see, I'm really excited. Today we have a fabulous guest who has a whole portfolio of experience both in the professional, the self-publishing, the creative side of writing, and I'm just really excited to talk about how those kind of interweave in her experience. We're going to talk a little bit about her bio on her website and some of the amazing experiences she's had as a writer. But without further ado, I introduce you to Monica Miller. Monica, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here. And so my name is Monica Miller. I am your content guide. I help authors and writers and entrepreneurs find their story, find their voice through writing. So many of you are crucial writers and authors, so you already have that in you, but it's the marketing side that probably trips you up. And that's where I come in and help you see how you can take your words that you have put into your writing, into your books, and turn it into profits using a marketing strategy that really feels aligned to you, feels good, and it's fun. Because if it's not fun, then I don't think we should really be doing it. I mean, that's what I'm coming across. I'm just like, if it's not fun, I'm not doing it.
You
So
say
that's
there's
what
so
I
many
want.
other jobs that are easier than writing if you want to just make quick money. So you should
Yep.
love it. It should be fun, right?
It should. Marketing should be fun too.
Yes, agreed. I wanted to bring up something. So I've looked at her bio on her website, which you should check out her website because it's amazing. But um, you talked about how you discovered your love for writing at an early age and spent hours cultivating your talent by writing books that never got published and newsletters that was only ever read by your best friend. So I'm curious, how early on was that in your life that you started
Oh
your
God. I started writing books, I think around 12 years old. So I was the 12-year-old who was like, I'm going to become a famous author. Okay, how do I become a famous author? Start writing now. So I got
yes,
proactive.
many of
Um,
us, yes.
yeah. So I actually wrote an entire series. I think I wrote 5 or 6 books in the series. And it was the same characters, Sadie, Common, and Titus. And I wrote them on, Word document. They printed them out, and no one saw them except, me and I think my best friend at the time saw it, and that's it. I've actually considered going back and redeveloping those stories and
Uh-huh.
actually publishing them now because I'm like, well, it'd be a fun young adult, like, type books. And then at one point, I wanted to start my own newsletter and talk about different aspects of life. And I don't know, I just wanted to do this. And it came out to be probably like 5 to 7 pages long each month. And I remember sending it out to a couple of girlfriends I had, and my mom family told me, she was like, sweetheart, you need to charge for this, even if it's just for posting. So I think I ended up charging like $1.50, like $1.50, $2 for it to cover postage. But I was sending it out to a couple of people. I don't even remember what I even wrote, but I remember it was not like one page. It was more like 5, 6, 7, 8 pages long.
That's awesome. And the reason I asked that is because so you've gone on to write posters and short stories for college publications. You've taught about MLA formatting and sentence structure to college students. You have published your first novel, self-published, and then you have other works that you've published as well. Not to mention your experience in journalism as a volunteer. You've dabbled, right? You've done all the things. And so I'm
I
just
have.
curious how, do you see that experience as a kid, even though nobody ever saw, like not very many people saw it. Did that affect your writing later? Did it continue that drive for you? Like how intertwined were those experiences where those things that you wrote that never got seen, I guess, how did they impact your experience?
I think it impacted my experience because I was able to find my voice. I dabbled in my voice from a very early start. So by the time I was 18, 19 years old, it just came so naturally to me that writing, even a short piece for my college, I don't even know what they're called, like the college books full of their college students,
Mhm.
literary books, I guess, for college students. And writing those pieces wasn't hard for me. And a lot of my professors who knew me on a personal level, I knew, I had a couple of them. They knew I loved to write. They knew I was a good writer. So they try to steal me to, hey, we have this literary collection where we'll get in our college students to put in their writings. You should do it too. And I'm like, okay. And plus, I knew I wanted to begin with my writing career. When I was 12, going back to 12, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and write as a living, make a couple $1,000s a month, support my family, do what I love, where I'll be with my children. And so I knew I had to start early. That was I need to start early. So that's hence why I was writing all these books. And so whenever I transitioned, from college to whenever I got married, and I decided to start doing some internships and writing those journalistic pieces of human interest articles. And I just loved the interview process. That process of asking people questions, diving deep into their stories, finding the golden nuggets that they might not have shared with other people. I met so many amazing people on this Air Force base that my husband and I were stationed in Germany for a couple of years because he was active duty Air Force at the time. And so that's whenever I started to do some journalistic writings. And I met so many incredible people in Germany and on that base. And I think that really grew that love for exploring. So I already had that development of I already had my voice. I already knew how I like to write. And then it was just an exploration at that point, exploring what I was really good at, exploring how I just love to conversate with people and helping them find the stories within themselves, because we have all these stories, but until somebody asks us a pointed question, we really don't recall those stories until that moment. And that was something I found I was really good at. Then taking it and putting it into some piece, to an article or a book or whatever, and taking it and putting it out for others to see and read and enjoy.
Hmm. I love that. Something that I have just gotten from you that has been a good reminder for me, and I think is good for the listeners as well, is that it's not about just the success of the publication for you. Writing is your lifestyle, it's your passion. And I love that you're like, well, I have works that didn't get out, but they helped me become who I am, and I'm going to self-publish this book because it's bringing me my dream fulfillment. And
Yeah.
I guess out of curiosity, if you're willing to share it, was that experience with self-publishing, I mean, once you had that release, did it go as you expected? Did you have a lot of expectations for it, or was it just the act of like putting it out there to the world to read if they're interested? You know what I mean? Where was that for you?
So my first book I published, I think I was about 18 years old. And so that was a while ago. So I was like, I'm trying to remember what was my expectations. I mean, I don't know if I had any expectations. I think it was just that getting the story out of me, that process of it was like a download one day. I remember I was stuck at one point and I was trying to take a nap when it just hit me that the whole story, the whole cabane, came to me. And that's whenever I knew, okay, this is how I want to take the story. And so once I self-published it, I don't remember, like I said, I don't really remember if I had an expectation per se, but I just knew I wanted my story to get out there. So
Okay.
some of the things I did was I went to a bookstore and asked if I could sell my books. I think I even did that at a farmer's market in my local town at the time. And I was in the newspaper at one point because, I was out and about. I had one of my friends invite me over to his house, and we did like a book reading together. So we invited our friends over. There was probably like 10 of us over, and I read excerpts in the book out loud to my friends. So I think it was more of a fun thing, an experience more than anything. And then, of course, the act of, I'm fulfilling my dream. I'm fulfilling what I feel called to do. And
Mm.
since then, I have written two other books. I've just recently released a journal. I'm planning on releasing another journal sometime this year and writing another book. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be all about how to make marketing fun and
I
how do
love
you,
that.
yeah, and how do you bring the funness into it, into your wherever you're selling? It doesn't matter. It's like how can we make it fun for you? Because I find that whenever it's fun, people pick up on that, and people want to be a part of that funness again. And that's
Yeah,
what I found I've been missing, and I'm like I'm bringing the fun back. I'm
you
bringing it back.
should. We all should have the fun brought back. We need more people like you. And I think that's such a good reminder too, because I've been feeling it. I know my listeners have been feeling it. Just the pressure comes from being a writer, I guess, that we put on ourselves, right? Because like you said, sort of off air, we are our own business, whether we want to admit that or not, right? You are marketing yourself and you are
Oh
your
yeah.
own brand, right? How you represent yourself. And so just the business pressure that comes from that to make money. And I just love that you've embraced like I'm just going to try what I can and learn as I go and be creative, and reach out to my friends. And then you found your passion, which was in marketing, which is not usual for a writer. So I would love for you to take a minute to talk about kind of what you're doing now. We mentioned a little bit. This is kind of a teaser because we don't have all the details yet, but I will announce the details when they're ready. Kind of your new like writers meeting that you're having, and the training and just kind of what you're doing now with marketing because I think it's really helpful for our authors to see how important it is to leverage your story the right way so that people can see and be impacted by your words.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm a natural born storyteller, and I love storytelling. So that's like a piece of me that I want more authors, because you are a storyteller by nature. So utilizing that storytelling love and using it into your marketing, like I love that. Okay, so I was telling Sheldon before we went live just how I'm pivoting, and I'm really excited about this. So I would be offering a membership just to authors and writers, where you have some time, like twice a month, to hop on and write. Whether it's writing your book, maybe putting together a journal, maybe it's to write your next blog post or to write your next social media post. However, whatever you want to write, it's more of that accountability. Because if you are a mom like I am, your life is really busy, really fast, really quick. And we need that accountability to just have that time to write, whether that's marketing or a story that we want to put out into the world. And so I want to create that time where we meet twice a month and we just write. And if you want my eyes on your content, I'll leave a little time after that, after our designated writing time, for you to come in just to ask those questions, because I know I need feedback. And I know that it's important for you as a writer to have that feedback, just to know, am I making sense? Is this going to communicate what I am trying to say? Just having that extra eyes and have the community pitch in too. Then you'll have once a month trainings where we're going to be talking about marketing, content. I'm going to bring in some guests to come in and talk about, speaking and of course marketing and content, all the things. That remember, make marketing fun. So all about that. Um, and then there would be a community piece. Like I said, I don't have all this piece together yet, but my goal is to have this out in the next month or so. So I'm doing my research now. Where do I want to host it? How do I want it to be? What would be my first training? Hint, I believe it's going to be Amazon ads and all the different ads you could create if you wanted to. So that way you can just begin to have more of that, accessibility to marketing, and having someone to help you create a marketing goal and strategy that is going to be fun and it's going to bring you what you desire, which is, of course, more readers, more people into your world, and of course, you allowing your voice to impact other people's lives. So yes, we would definitely let you know when that all comes together.
We will collectively, we will do that. And something I just wanted to point out from one of our recent episodes with Kiana. She talked about how even though her publishing journey was a little bit different, I mean, it was her dream to publish a book, right? She had a story to tell. She felt like she had a story to tell. She didn't know how to tell it, right? So she just kind of put it out there, and it's still in the works, and it's been a long journey for her. But something that she said that reminds me of this meeting that you're about to start, this kind of membership masterclass, if you will, is that she didn't know what she was doing, but she did it anyway, and she felt like if she would have had more understanding, she might have done it differently. But she reached out on social media, and the reason that her agent found her, in fact, she was approached by 10 different agents, is because of her mood board on her Twitter account and because she was consistent with her content. And her marketing, she made fun for her. She talked about a story that wasn't published yet, that no one knew about. Her enthusiasm for it was like so, it just spread so quickly that like she had agents approaching her. And I feel like that's something that we need to do more often is promote ourselves as authors, even if we're not there yet, right? We need to do the prep work. We need to be ready for the product that comes out when it does. And so I think Monica can help you with that. I think she would be happy to look at what, you're thinking and your process. And I know you did more one-on-one trainings before and you're kind of going into a more of a group situation, but I think that's also beneficial because we need multiple sources of feedback. We need multiple inputs. Obviously, I'm an advocate for that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be asking authors what they think every week. So look at this. Mark it in your calendar for next week to come and check. Am I right? Come check our website. Come check hers. See what we've got and see if you can, connect with her. We're running lower on time, but I do have another question for you.
Yeah.
You just have such a great enthusiasm for what you do and for marketing and writing. And I guess if you could leave the audience with one piece of maybe motivating advice about marketing themselves and about their value as a writer, what would you tell them?
Yes, I love this question. I always encourage this with anybody. It doesn't matter who you are, entrepreneur, writer, author, it doesn't matter. Discover and notice what lights you up. What kind of marketing lights you up? Are you a one-on-one person? Do you love to share your expertise with others? Do you love to connect with people one-on-one? Find that. You probably already have an idea what that is, and then do more of it. There is a billion ways to market and scale and grow your business. There is a gazillion ways to make money, but there is only a few ways on how you are designed and meant to make money. Like in the aspects, I guess I'm thinking of human design because I'm kind of into that too, but just to acknowledge what lights me up, what fulfills me, what is it that I love to do whenever I'm just being myself, and and people are buying my book, people are buying my maybe my products. What is that? Find that and do more of it, because that's going to create more momentum, and new opportunities will naturally flow to you organically. It's going to be a wild ride. So do more what you love.
I love that. And there's the plaque quote for the evening, my friends. We always have a quote that should be put on a plaque. I should have a wall full of plaques from our guests, and that is so good. Find what lights you up and do more of it. And that's really what writing comes down to. And I think that's a great place to leave off. So Monica, I wish I could talk to you longer, and I think maybe we'll have you on again, in the future to talk about how things have changed for you in marketing and that side of it. But for now, you stick around. Thanks for coming on, and to all of you word wizards out there, keep on writing on.